Bobby Shoemaker, Andrew Calvano, Tournament Talk on the Tournament Edge. For Saturday, February 4th, we're staying at Hollandale Beach, Gulfstream Park, race 11. It's the Grade 3 Sweetest Chant Stakes. Andrew going 1 mile on the turf for 3-year-old fillies, a field of 9. And Rimska, the 7, is your 9-5 morning line favorite. Chad Brown, Joel Rosario. Plain and simple, I don't even think this horse is the best brown horse in this race. And Joel Rosario is struggling to say the least. And I'm not taking a horse who I don't think is the best horse in the race at 9-5 morning line with a struggling jockey.
And I'm in the same boat with you, Bob. You know me, I'm not the biggest Rosario guy, but gave this one an excuse in the Miss Grillo. But obviously, how could you deny a horse dropping from the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, to a spot like this? But quite frankly, I don't think this one has necessarily shown anything stateside. And then with the addition that you got to think this one gets well bet, but has a lacking jockey right now in the standings. Just a play against for me here. And like you said, Bob, the other Chad Brown horse out of the Factor, who has really come around as a top turf sire.
Right.
I mean, it goes to attest that a $25,000 stud fee, this one was bought for nearly $500,000. So I think there's a lot of hope in the other Chad Brown horse, but Rimska's going to be a play against for me today.
As far as the pace is concerned, Andrew, this is the first race that we've covered this weekend that I have a strong opinion when it comes to pace. And you want to talk about lack of. This race, to me, certainly has lack of pace. And that's why I'll just get right into my top selection. It is the one horse, Okinawa. This horse was more than impressive last time out for Chad Brown. Javier Castellano was aboard that day. He sees fit, Andrew, to get back aboard today. He draws the rail. I know he's going to lead. And I just don't think anything's going to catch him, Andrew. A 100 time form U.S. speed figure last time out. I think he enjoyed the firm going at Gulfstream Park. I expect a 2 to 5 point improvement when it comes to the figure at the end of the day. And this horse just goes wire to wire to me. It's pretty simple at $14. That's tons of value for a Chad Brown horse.
Without a doubt, and like I mentioned before, and I'll mention it again, we covered in the earlier segment, just pulled up the DRF formulator statistic here. Chad Brown, 19% of the win, 55% in the money over the past 5 years, with maiden winners last out on the turf going up to graded stakes company here. So I think this one is very talented. Obviously, look at this one's debut at Saratoga over the summer. Really no need to be on the dirt. Obviously, the Factor fits well into that, but obviously this one's true calling was the turf, as seen. 2 back with Aqueduct. The winner was disqualified there. The horse that ran second, eventually put first, comes back to win the next out. So obviously a lot of class there, and then just crushes wire to wire with Javier last time out over this turf course. I think as far as lack of pace is concerned, I think you're right, Bobby. I don't think there's too much of it. I think there are horses that want to be near the front end, but I don't think you have a horse with as much speed and power like this one Okinawa should have. I think, in my opinion, maybe not right now, because the other Rimska obviously made it to the Breeders' Cup, but I think as far as long term, I think Okinawa is going to be a much better horse and more recognizable name for Chad Brown as we move on into the summer at Saratoga. So I'm in all in agreement with you here. My only fear, and it actually, as much as I'm hyping up the horse, will not be my top selection. It's actually my number 2 selection. I was afraid that the bettors would realize the same thing I am with the lack of pace.
Sure.
And probably being the better Chad Brown horse, I was afraid that we'd see 3-1 or something on that horse. That's just what I saw. I had the one 5-1 in my morning line odds. I think this one is much worse, in my opinion, to beat. But I'm going to try to find value in number 9, 55. I'll argue for this one a little bit as well. In the debut, didn't want to break at all. Checked around, had a lot of difficult decisions to make. Carmouche eventually rallies this horse. He finishes 3rd off that rail. Now, wins the maiden, last 2 back at Aqueduct. Run an incredible race, getting up in a 3-way horse photo. Had to come from a blast from the cloud. Then ships here. January 1st, obviously, from way out of the clouds, comes in with my man Lescano, like I say so many times, is one of the best turf routing jockeys for value. Crushes the field from a man Thomas Bush, who's a great ROI trainer. Fires a nice bullet workout last time out at Meadows on January 24th. Now, obviously, with the lack of pace, that's going to be the problem with this horse here. but I could see this one really going off near 15-1. And if I'm right, and the two Chad Brown horses do get bet, I could see this horse closing for second, really behind the Chad Brown horses. So from a tournament perspective, I'm kind of hoping I can get an overlay. If that's not the case, and I can get Chad Brown and the one horse at 6-1, I'll go there. But if I can get this one at 15-1, I'll try to beat out some low price favorites. Either way, I'm keying 1-9 on top of all and everything in this race.
Yeah, depending on where I'm at in the tournament, if the one horse goes off at 3-1, I think I would certainly have to reconsider. And look, I'm not sitting here and saying that I don't think that the 9 may have more talent or be more polished at this juncture than the 1. But Andrew, I just don't see any pace. And when the jockey switch was made, and I can't stress the importance of the jockey switch. If you saw how lackadaisical Irad was on Okinawa on November 9th in comparison to how Javier got after her early and got her into the race early, it just paid dividends. And this horse seemed to love the fact that she was on the lead. And I just don't see anything catching her. The problem is, and you brought up a great point, not only is it Chad Brown and Javier, it's a horse that looks like she might be lone speed. So that could be a problem from an ROI standpoint. And if that's the case, Andrew, what's wrong with the 2-horse Tammet? Another horse that's going to come from way off of it, but a horse that ran as good as your 9 last time out, if not better. And I love the middle move of this horse last time out. I think that would be a horse that you should consider as well if the 1 horse is bet below your liking.
Without a doubt, and obviously this one was only half a length off my horse in defeat in that last time out race. And that's why I kind of went toward my horse because no doubt that obviously you have much better connections in Mark Cassian and Julian Leparoux, but if I can get double on a horse that has proven a little bit more than the 2, I'm obviously going to go there, but no doubt about it, the connections are better here. Really, this is how I see the race. I think Rimska is a total bust.
Yes.
You know me, I play a lot of survivor races. I think this is a race where you go, throw that horse right out. I don't think this one hits the board, in my opinion. But I think between these 3 horses on the inside, Okinawa, Tammet, even Compelled, let's not overlook it as the second choice here for Thomas Proctor on a 2-race win streak. This one, obviously, out of a Warfront sire, has a lot of pedigree. And then you have a horse like my 9 at 55 at 10-1. So I think this is a very sharp race. I honestly think the winner is the 1, Chad Brown with Okinawa. I'm going to hopefully get a double-digit odd horse at 15-1. That's what I'm kind of seeing from 55, the number 9 horse. So I'm going to go there from an ROI perspective, try to crack the bank depending on where the 1 is. But I really think this race is between the 1 and 9 as far as running styles.
You brought up the 3, and I wanted to ask you about the 3 because obviously we're trying to educate viewers as well and give our opinions on certain topics of how to try to find winners. If you watch the video replay of the 3, you might land on the 3 because the last 2 starts, this horse has never been asked. It's like the jockey never even moved out of the saddle. So it puts me in a tough predicament, Andrew, from a speed figure standpoint, is because yes, the horse ran only a 99 going a mile at Gulfstream Park West, but Paco never even tried. So does that mean the horse could have run a 105? Could the horse run a 103? You don't know, Andrew. So what do you do with a horse like Compelled when you think that she might be able to run faster? It certainly looks like it from a visual standpoint, but yet the odds are so low and the numbers don't fit. Tough spot to be in, right?
Without a doubt, and that's why the 5-2 definitely scares me here. You know, though the numbers are strong for what this one ran, you know, coming out of races like Laurel Park and Gulfstream Park West, just in my opinion, don't compare here. So, and then off the layoff, you really got to see what this one's doing. But I have a lot of respect for Tom Proctor and Lescano, especially when they team up together here. So I think this is a race where, you know, you really got to play it from an ROI perspective and see what the overlays are looking like.
No doubt. And we're going to find out pretty early in this race whether Compelled belongs or not, Andrew. And I certainly understand what you're saying as far as, you know, the class level is not there. But you cannot deny, from a visual standpoint, if you watch the replays, this horse has every opportunity to run well. And I understand why Proctor's got this horse in this race.
100%. And, you know, we'll see. You know, obviously, you know, how could you overlook a Warfront, you know, Philly doing anything here? So we'll see. We'll see if it was whether, you know, this one shouldn't have started out sprinting at Saratoga and then, you know, a 3-way photo at Belmont, you know, on September 11th. So we'll see with this one, see how close this one can figure it out to.
Give us your top selection in what is a very good Grade 3 turf stakes event at Gulfstream Park.
So I'm going to wait and to see what the odds are looking like here, because I'm really set between the one Okinawa, who in my opinion, I think is the best horse in the race and the best horse in the future. But I'm really going to look at number 9, 55. If I can get this one above that 10-1 morning line, I'm going to take a shot and just hope I'm getting a better price. Whether I'm closing for second, you can always still beat out a favorite in a race like that in a tournament.
I'm going to go with the one Okinawa. It's the best turf trainer in the world. It's one of the best jockeys in the country. And the horse looks to be Lone Speed to me, Andrew. And that's the one Okinawa. It just looks like to me the horse should wire the field. At 3-1, I would still take the horse if I've got a chance to make money in a tournament. And I think you have to look very closely at the 2-horse Tammet. I understand that the horse lost to your horse last time out, but the horse was 6-5 wide as they were turning for home. This horse would have won the race if she got a better ride. And I think you have to consider this horse, and I think this horse might be an overlay. So that's going to do it for Gulfstream Park Race 11 on Saturday, February 4th. It's the Grade 3 Sweetest Chant Stakes going a mile on the turf for 3-year-old fillies. That's Andrew Calvano. I'm Bobby Shoemaker. Good luck.
Good luck, guys.